Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. Is your job like a bad relationship? Okay, I just want you to think about that for one moment. So many of us have had some experience of being in a bad relationship. So I just want to talk a little bit in terms of if this is your experience, things that you can do. Okay, so I'm talking to Black women who are in toxic jobs and who are thinking about or are ready to leave their toxic jobs. So I just want to talk in terms of some similarities in terms of how your job or how you can tell that your job is like a bad relationship. So, number one, you no longer see your job as something that you look forward to seeing. Okay, so you dread seeing them just like you're in your bad relationship. The other thing is that you recognize that the job, just like a bad relationship, is causing you some type of harm, okay, that you're not getting fulfilled in that relationship. Again, just like a job, if you're not growing. Another thing is if you try to convince yourself that you should stay in this bad relationship or stay at this job because you're familiar with it, I mean, you know what to expect. You can't be any more disappointed. Okay. Think about that too. And then the other thing, which is really sad, is if you believe that you can't get anything better. So sometimes people, women, men, anyone, may stay in a relationship, a bad relationship, because they doubt that they can get anything better. And so, if this is your experience, I just want to say to you, just think about you can get something better, okay? But in the space that you're in right now, because you are coming from a hurt space, that it might be hard for you to connect to your value. It may be hard for you to connect to any sense of hope for yourself. So I just want to give some tips for you if you are a Black woman in a toxic job and your job is starting to mirror a bad relationship. Okay. So you know when something doesn't feel right. Okay. Just like in a bad relationship. So these are the things that I'm suggesting for you. One is to pause and stop being busy and doing other things because when we get busy like that, that is a trauma response. So being overly busy all the time, you never have time to rest, that is a trauma response. So I'm asking you to take a moment to pause because when you're pausing, you can listen to yourself. You can listen to what your soul is telling you to do. And when you're listening to your soul, you can determine what you really know is best for you and why you are staying either in that bad relationship or in that bad job that's harming you. Okay. So when you think about bad relationships, when you think about toxic jobs, both of them are poisonous. So they impact you in different ways. So not only in terms of influencing your quality of life, okay, think about the quality of life that you're living, but it can also impact how you view yourself. If you start recognizing that through a bad relationship or through a toxic job, that you are starting to feel the poison kind of get into your system and you're starting to question yourself, that's a sign that there's something going on. Okay. So again, I invite you to pause. I invite you to listen to yourself in terms of what your soul is saying to you. And I encourage you not to fall into these traps like I talked about before. Well, it's better to stay here because I don't know if I'll get anything else. Okay. So I invite you to do those things because you will come to realize that you deserve better. Okay. And then I invite you to become connected to yourself. Be connected to what is it that you really want. So, what is it that you really want in a relationship? What is it that you really want in a job? So, what are your non-negotiables that you want in a job? And look at your current job. Are you getting those things? Okay. So, I had the master class yesterday with S. Emery Archer, the anti-HR lady, and the master class was Save Yourself, Channel Your Inner Harriet, so you can leave that hostile, toxic job with your sanity and your coins. And one of the things we talked about is evaluating the costs and benefits of leaving your job. So, it's important to really look at, do the costs outweigh the benefits? And what are those costs? So, if those costs are impacting your quality of life, again, it's a time to really reflect. Okay. So, the other thing is to take some time to heal. So if you've decided this job is not going to work for me, just like you've decided a relationship is not good for you, okay? That when you decide to leave, that you take some time to heal, and recognizing that you might need more time to heal at the beginning of when you initially leave, but it might be an ongoing process. So the healing is necessary so that you don't end up making decisions like rash decisions, or maybe not well informed decisions because you want to get out of the other situation, or or you may be trying to avoid the pain that you've just experienced. So in a relationship or like a job, okay, a toxic job. So the healing is necessary. And if you have good friends, your good friends have probably told you, if you're in a bad relationship, don't jump into another relationship. They call that, right, rebounds, right? Rebound relationships. So just like with a toxic job, when you are leaving a toxic job or planning to leave a toxic job, please try to give yourself some time to heal. So if you find another job and the other job seems to be fulfilling what you're looking for, if you can, please try to take some break in between the current job and the job you're transitioning to, okay? Because you you are just fresh from that trauma of the previous job. So again, I just want to come on just to talk to you about, if your job is reminding you of a bad relationship. And bad relationships too, where you're ready to go and the person just keeps hanging on. They say they're going to change and all these other kind of things. Your job might be doing the same thing. Okay, well, thank you for, raising this, giving us a notice about this has been going on. If you raise issues, but point taken that they probably already know about these things already, because you're probably not the first one who's brought up these issues, but it's kind of like a way to kind of get you in this abuse cycle, right? So, forgiveness, if they apologize, oh my gosh, so sorry, you're so great, we love you, we don't want you to go away, right? We need you, we value you, and then it's a setup, and then it keeps happening over and over again, right? And so just like the cycle that we see sometimes in those types of toxic relationships, we can see that in a job too. So that cycle of the honeymoon period. So when you first start, oh, we love you, oh, you are so great, we've been waiting for you, you do such a great job, we nobody else can do this, da, 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 just like you might hear in another relationship, in a bad relationship. Okay. So these things might happen, and you might get locked into that cycle, just like you might be locked in a cycle in a bad relationship. So, again, the most important thing is the awareness. So being aware of, oh my gosh, that is similar to what I've experienced in a bad relationship. So once you recognize it, that's the first step. The next step is deciding what you want to do. So you can choose to do something about it once you're aware of it, or you can choose not to. But recognize that any decision you make has consequences. So consequences in terms of your quality of life, and also consequences in terms of embracing and looking at, does this mean that I need a change in my life? And change can be scary because it's the unknown. But again, if we don't change, we will continue to get what we always got. And if we're always getting what we don't like, or doesn't fulfill us or help us grow or doesn't serve us, then we need to reevaluate that. Okay. So I just want to share with you just resources, because again, my channel, Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services, focuses not only on sharing information with you in terms of healing journeys, so my healing journey, my guests, all the guests that I've had on in terms of Black women healing from toxic jobs, but I also want to give you resources in terms of what to do. So Black women have reached out to me and said, well, what do I do? I'm in this situation. What do I do? So I want to give you more information about what to do if you are in a toxic job. So one, the most important thing is the awareness to recognize I am in a toxic job. Okay. And again, it may look different for you than it looks like for other people, but you are able to tell because it impacts you in some negative way. You're dreading going to work, you're crying to and from work, whatever that might be. It might look different for different people, but you know if it's harming you. Okay. So the first part, again, is the awareness. And then I gave you some tips in terms of things you can do. But I also want to share with you and remind you of resources because I feel like we can never hear about resources enough. Okay. Because sometimes we forget or we didn't get that part, or we might need to hear it several times. So that's why I repeat about resources too, because I want you to be able to access them and know how to access them, which is so important. So I will talk about the resources and then I will put the resources in the description section as well. Okay. So one resource that I strongly suggest is therapy. Okay. So therapy provides an opportunity for you to really address those issues that you are experiencing, ways that issues that as a job might be mirroring other things that have happened in your life, and how issues in your job are making issues in your life difficult, so that you have an opportunity to do that in therapy. I have a video that I'll put in the description section about how to find a Black therapist. Okay. So, and I'll also put in there about in the description section about free therapy resources for Black women. So there's a Loveland Foundation and there's the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. So both of them, you can contact them and try to see how you can access free therapy services for Black women. Okay, so that's one. Number two, as I stress all the time, probably in every video I do, is if you're in a toxic job that's harming you, to take a leave of absence so that you have some time to really reflect on what you need. Okay, and you're not always in the fight mode because you're taking a break. Okay. So see if you can take leave of absence. I've talked about coaching. So coaching helps you in real time look at where is it that you're trying to go so that the coach will help you get there. Okay. So Anne Marie Archer has the Black Women's Coaches Directory, which is available to you. And then think about what your next steps are in terms of what you want to do. Sometimes, in terms of thinking about your next steps, you may feel so disconnected and kind of beat down from the job that you may even have a hard time determining what you want to do. Okay. You may have a hard time saying, you know what, these are things I like, or all those things. You might be so disconnected, and when you take this moment to pause, it's also a really good opportunity when you pause and take a leave of absence for you to start evaluating your circle, to evaluate those people who are helpful and supportive of you, and maybe those who are not. And so if you need help or assistance or support with helping to become more connected to yourself and to learn how to evaluate your circle, reevaluate your circle of support, and to reconnect to the joy in your life. So when we're in a toxic job and we are in survival mode and we're juggling all these different things, we can sometimes get disconnected from our joy. We can even get so disconnected from our joy that we don't even feel that we can experience joy anymore. We may lose sight of what makes us happy. We may feel like joy costs a lot of money, and that's none of those are true. Okay. So, in terms of how to connect to your joy is so important, because again, we're looking at work life balance and we're looking at the quality of your life. Okay. So, a job can impact not only the quantity of your life, but also the quality of your life. And again, many women have talked about this. My dear friend Colette Elizabeth has talked about it too, that no job is worth your life. Dr. Nadia Lopez talks about this. So remember that no job is worth your life. So if you are in a situation and you're so disconnected, you can't figure out what your next move is because you are just trying to scramble and make it day by day, I do have a resource available for you. And again, that's in the description section as well. So it's called Welcome to Your Queendom Digital Fillable Workbook. Okay, again, Welcome to Your Queendom Digital Fillable Workbook. And the workbook, again, allows you for an opportunity to really evaluate and get some clarity about what direction you're trying to go in your life. It helps you to evaluate or reevaluate your circle and also to reconnect to your joy. So, this is a roadmap that I used for myself when I was so lost, when I was in that toxic job before I resigned. So, this roadmap helped me. Okay. So, I'm making it available to you too. And it's called Welcome to Your Queendom because when we are at these toxic jobs, just like a bad relationship, we are not treated like a queen. Okay. And we may lose sight of our value and that we are a queen. And so that's why it's called Welcome to Your Queendom. Welcome back to yourself and all the full glory that you are. Okay. So just want to share that too. So resources are available for you. The first step is awareness. And as I'm signing off today, please give this video a thumbs up because thumbs up allows for YouTube to recommend this video to other Black women who may be in a toxic job. Because I've encountered, you may have heard from your friends, family, that most Black women unfortunately have at least one toxic job experience. So we are working together. So you and I, everyone listening, we are helping each other heal from toxic jobs and to leave toxic jobs because we deserve better, right? We deserve better. So again, my channel, if you have not already subscribed to it, please do so. Lifting as we climb consulting wellness services. And again, like this video, give it a thumbs up so that more Black women will be able to access this information. Okay. So I'm signing off. So have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.